Imagine walking down a crowded city street, everyone rushing to their own destinations, heads buried in phones, and not a single soul paying attention to the girl sitting quietly on the sidewalk. Her hair was messy, her clothes torn, and beside her was a small cardboard sign that read, "Hungry, but hopeful." At first glance, most people passed by without even noticing her, but today, something extraordinary was about to happen. And if you stick with me to the very end, you'll see why this story carries a powerful lesson that could change the way you look at the world. So before we dive in, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because stories like this one deserve to be shared, and I promise, you won't forget this one. His name was Adrian Cole, a name people whispered with respect in the corporate world. The media called him the Wolf of Real Estate because he built his empire from scratch and rose to become a billionaire CEO. He had everything money could buy: private jets, luxury cars, penthouses with views that stretched across the city. Yet, beneath all of that success, Adrian carried something inside him most didn't know: a deep loneliness and a curiosity about the truth of human character. Because in his world of suits and champagne, he rarely knew who was truly genuine and who simply wanted his wealth. That day, Adrian had just stepped out of his sleek black limousine, dressed in a tailored suit worth more than some people's yearly rent. He was on his way to a dinner meeting when his eyes caught the girl sitting on the sidewalk. Her name was Emily. She was barely in her 20s, yet life had already hit her harder than most could imagine. She lost her parents young, bounced around foster homes, and when she turned 18, she was pushed out into the world with no safety net. She worked odd jobs, but one medical emergency drained every dollar she had saved, and soon she found herself on the streets, relying on the kindness of strangers. Adrian paused in front of her. He noticed not just her torn shoes or tired face but the spark in her eyes. She wasn't begging with desperation, she was sitting with quiet dignity, as though she believed tomorrow might be better. For reasons he couldn't explain, Adrian decided to test her. He pulled out a black credit card from his wallet. It wasn't just any card, it was a card with no limit, one reserved for the world's elite. Without a word, he handed it to her and said, "Take this. Use it however you want. I'll be waiting right here." Emily froze. She looked at the card, then up at him, confusion flooding her expression. She didn't know who this man was or why he would trust her with something so valuable. "Why me?" she whispered. "Because sometimes," Adrian said softly, "the world needs to see what someone does when given a choice." She hesitated, her hands trembling as she took the card. She could have run, disappeared into the night, bought everything she ever dreamed of. But instead, Emily stood up and walked toward a small grocery store across the street. Adrian watched with careful eyes, curious what her next move would be. Inside the store, Emily wandered through the aisles. She picked up bread, fruit, bottled water, and a few essentials. But then she did something that caught even the cashier off guard. She walked past the food aisles and headed straight to the pharmacy section. There, she bought bandages, antiseptic, and medicine. She wasn't thinking about herself. Outside that store, on another corner, lived a small group of homeless men and women she had come to know. One of them, an older man named Carl, had a deep wound on his leg that was getting worse every day. Emily knew that if he didn't get help soon, infection would take over. With the card, she bought what she needed to treat Carl, plus enough food to share with everyone in her little, street family. When she walked out, Adrian was still standing there, leaning against his car. She walked up, handed the card back, and said, "Thank you. But this doesn't belong to me. I just wanted to help my friends." For the first time in a long while, Adrian felt his chest tighten, not from stress, but from emotion. He saw in her something he rarely found in his world of wealth: selflessness. Tears threatened to form in his eyes, but he quickly blinked them away. "Do you realize what you just did?" he asked. Emily looked puzzled. "I just bought some food and medicine. Nothing special." "No," Adrian said, his voice firm but kind. You just proved that character isn't built by what you have, but by what you do with what's given." He invited her to sit inside his car, and though hesitant, she accepted. Over the course of the evening, Adrian learned more about Emily, her struggles, her dreams, how she once wanted to study social work so she could help children like herself who grew up in the foster system. She spoke not with bitterness, but with hope, even though she had every reason to give up. Adrian made a decision that night. He told her, "Emily, you have the heart that this world desperately needs. And I want to help you, not with just a meal, but with a future." He offered her a job at one of his companies, a safe place to live, and a full scholarship to finish her education. Emily broke down in tears, unable to believe what was happening. For so long she had been invisible to the world, and now someone not only saw her but believed in her. The story didn't end there. Months later, Emily transformed her life. She went from sleeping on cold sidewalks to walking into classrooms, studying hard.